All right, we got some NFL predictions that we got to get to. We got to take care of it. And look who it is at center stage with the hat of shame right now.
Okay, well, I told you I might go all season without wearing this. Obviously, I was wrong. But I do want to point out we're almost at the halfway point. So it did take a while for me to end up with the hat of shame.
Well, I am somehow miraculously, and I'm not even sure how I'm doing this, coming back. Because I had that horrendous week just like you did this week, but I think I lost 8 games that week. I was bad. And you lost 7 this week.
I did. I went 7-7. What was your final?
I was 9-5 this week.
You went 9-5. You gained 2 games. Nice job.
And Sizzle went 8-6.
Right in the middle.
She went 8-6 there, and
So I didn't get skunked.
No, you didn't get skunked, but overall. But had you had a bad week, I would be tied with you almost right now. What we have right now is you're still in the lead at 68-34-1, Sizzle at 67-35-1, and I'm 66-36-1. I'm 2 games back.
Okay. I did very badly against the spread last week, just FYI. Not even going to mention it. We're just going to move on. But I do have some good news in regards to me wearing the hat of shame, Steve. You know
okay, go ahead.
I make this look good.
Oh, will you stop? The hat of shame. All right, it's all good. Let's do some picks here. We'll start off with...
we're playing some football games this week.
Yeah, Atlanta at Carolina. Carolina is favored by 3.
All right. I've got the Falcons in this. I just feel like they're due. They need to be winning more. They've got Julio Jones. They've got Matt Ryan. They shouldn't be as bad as they are. I do think they'll upset the Panthers this week. And, I'm sticking to that.
Okay. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. I think Teddy Bridgewater, who fell down last week, and I think the week before as well. What's the Christian McCaffrey news? Do you know?
Christian McCaffrey is, I believe he is reported as limited in practice today. And it looks like he's going to be active for the Thursday night game.
All right. Well, I'll
it's
take
trending that way anyway.
I'll take the Panthers. I'll take the Panthers this game. I got to get back in the picks. I got to take those risky picks. They paid off for me last week, so I got to try it again. Sizzle,
who did Sizzle take?
Sizzle was taking the Panthers.
All right. Once again, Jay Sizzle had a family emergency come up. She was not able to join us for the show today, and we hope that everything works out.
And we miss Sizzle too, so always fun to have her in the studio with us. All right, next game, Indianapolis at Detroit, and the Colts are favored by 3.
I'm going with another upset on this. I think people are overrating the Colts. I do. And I don't really have a lot of faith in any team that's being led by Phillip Rivers at this point. I'm going with the Lions, and this is my upset of the week.
All right. I'm going to go with the Lions as well.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Lions as well. Sizzle's going to take the Colts here. But I agree with you on, I don't know, I think Sizzle just got a cold thing going on. But I am. I'm going with the Lions. I think they're going to upset the Colts, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a pretty good game. Really, I do.
I think I know why Sizzle didn't want to show up this week.
Oh, why?
Because she would probably take the Giants again this week, and I would have just harassed her mercilessly for it.
Well, we'll find out.
Takes the Giants every week. Who does that?
Yeah, we'll find.
And she gained ground doing it.
I know she did. All right, the next game is going to be Minnesota at Green Bay. Green Bay favored by 6.5.
This is going to be a good game. I do think that the Vikings are more competitive than they're letting on. But I have to take the Packers. I'm just not going with them to cover. I'm not riding the cover on this. They won't cover. Minnesota will hang around. I believe I totally see the Green Bay winning this by 4 or 5 points.
All right. Sizzle's got the Packers, and I'm going to take the Packers too, but I'm going to tell you why. First off, the Vikings secondary is atrocious. Green Bay will light that secondary up. I don't think Kirk Cousins can keep up with the points.
So you see a big day for Devontae?
Perhaps, but I just don't see. Minnesota's defense is decimated, and that's why I was kind of sticking up for Mike Zimmer here a little bit. That the players opted out on the defense, and of course they lost their offensive coordinator to now the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and doing very well as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, as long as they don't have Odell Beckham, and they don't have to worry about him because he doesn't have an ACL anymore. So, so that's the end of that. But I'm taking the Packers, so it's a Packers sweep for all of us right here. All right, so we got New England at Buffalo, big game.
Yeah, big game. Big game. This is going to be a lot of fun. I love the Bills this year. You know that. Two teams out of the AFC going into this season that I thought were really overlooked were the Bills and the Titans. And I as much as I want to say that Cam Newton is going to bounce back, I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Bills are a really strong, solid football team in pretty much all phases. I do think that they'll beat New England and they'll cover.
Okay, Sizzle's got the Bills with you, and I'm going to take the Bills as well. But a reason I'm taking the Bills is controversy. Stephen Gilmore puts his house up for sale. He's disgruntled there. Their defense is not playing very well. Cam Newton has not looked good. The Bills got a pretty solid team all the way around, and they are just dying to not only beat the Patriots, to humiliate.
Yeah, this is kind of like their Super Bowl. It really is, because every time that they have any kind of success, and even when they don't, they get throttled by New England, and it's demoralizing for them. This would be so big for Buffalo Bills fans and for the morale of the locker room if they win this game. I think they're going to go into this extremely fired up, and they're going to win.
Yeah, they're going to win all right, but the big thing is, are they going to run up the score? Because at this point.
It depends. Which Cam Newton are we getting?
Well, even if we get a decent Cam Newton, I'm saying that if Buffalo has a chance to put a 50 burger on them, they will do it. I'm not saying they're going to score 50. Don't get me wrong.
I was about to mute the mics and make a little side bet.
Let's just say Cam Newton opens up with a pick six. It's 7-0. Bills early. The Patriots go, 3 and out. Buffalo scores. It's 14-0. Next thing you know, a couple interceptions or fumbles later, it's 35-10 Bills. The Bills aren't going to lay down, is what I'm saying. They're going to keep trying to score and humiliate the Patriots because for years they humiliated them.
Right.
So it's the old payback as a bitch theory. So
that loss that the Patriots took last week was the biggest loss Bill Belichick ever had in his coaching career, even including when he was with Cleveland.
Yeah,
Isn't that something?
This may be his second most. I mean, the Bills have a chance to do it. I'm not saying that they will. I'm just saying that the Bills win the game. We all agree on that. All right, let's go to the next game, which is Tennessee and Cincinnati.
There's no contest. I think the Bengals are kind of moving a little bit backwards. I don't see a lot of fire in Joe Mixon. The defense is suspect, and how hard can you rely on a rookie quarterback really? And this is the Titans, guys. If you haven't caught on, for those of you who haven't caught on out there, the Titans are good. Okay, they're jack good. They're damn good, and the Titans are going to roll over the Bengals. They'll cover the spread. This game may not even be close. I will tell you this, Burrow's going to be throwing the ball a heck of a lot because I see the Titans getting off to a huge lead in this game, because they're going to be relying not only on Tannehill and his great passing attack and Jonnu Smith and A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, but they've also got a running back who you might have heard of who's pretty good. So, yeah, I think the Bengals are going to be playing catch-up. It's going to be, what is the over-under on this? Wow, it's a whopping 54.5. I was going to suggest the over because last time I looked, it was, I believe it was 51.5. That has since gone up by 3 points. Wow. So I'm going to stay away from the over-under because, the Bengals are going to throw the ball around a lot late and try to catch back up, but the Titans win, and it won't be close.
Well, Sizzle's taking the Titans. I'm going to take the Titans as well. Okay. But this game scares me.
Really? Why? How
Trap game. If it wasn't for Tennessee losing last week to Pittsburgh, if they would have beat Pittsburgh, I probably would have picked the Bengals here. But they lost last week.
That game was so good, and it killed me when Gostkowski missed it.
Yeah,
it killed.
Because I think they would have won the game if they would have went to overtime.
I wanted to see overtime. That game was so exciting and
It was good.
so fun.
It was in the first half. I thought it was going to be, like I said, one of those marquee matchups that never lived up to its expectations. This game, I think the Tennessee Titans will win, just like you said. The Bengals, I don't know. It just this one just scares me a little. But
you're rolling with Tennessee.
Yeah, but only because they lost last week on that one. So I'm rolling with you on that one. All right, next game we have is Las Vegas at Cleveland. Cleveland's favored by 2.5.
I'm done with the Browns. I'm done with the Browns. They're so inconsistent, and they're so overhyped. And on top of that, now they're missing Odell Beckham. And, the Raiders, I think, will win this easily. I'm kind of surprised that the line is – what is the line on that, Steve?
2.5.
And it's 2.5 for Cleveland. I don't get it. I mean, this
the
to
home
me,
team gets 3
this to me
points.
feels more like a pick 'em, but, the 2.5 points advantage for the Browns. Okay, fine. Raiders upset.
Sizzle's going with the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders as well. The reason why I'm going with the Raiders is because they got beat last week, pretty good, and that was coming off a bye. Mm-hmm. And Cleveland without Odell Beckham, they do well. I don't think losing Odell Beckham's a big deal for them. I just think that the Raiders will have their number this week.
Well, the good thing they have Rashard Higgins, and I know, by the way, if you're a fantasy player, you may want to rush to your waiver wire, see if Rashard Higgins is still around. He's going to be very heavily involved in their passing attack in Cleveland. Here's a big reason why Cleveland's going to lose this week.
All right,
because they won and they looked pretty good last week. That's why they're going to lose this week.
Yeah, and I agree. It's also a big game for them. Because if they win this game and they can kind of keep pace up with everybody else, this is a kind of a turning point. Mm-hmm. Because a few weeks ago I said this was a big game for them and they won it, and okay, that was one turning point. Well, this is another turning point because they're 4-2 now.
Yes,
I think they're 4-2.
I believe so.
So if they lose, they're 4-3, almost 500. Mm-hmm. Okay, but if not, they're 5-2. And things are looking good for them, and they're going to get that wild card spot because they're not going to win the division. We know that.
I know someday the Browns are going to go 5-2, and at that point I'll probably start building my underground bunker because it's going to be an impending sign of the end of the universe.
No, it's not going to be.
But it's not going to be this year. No. Browns lose.
No, I love the Browns this year with Kevin Stefanski, but they're not. They're winning this game. At least I don't think so. We're all riding with the Raiders.
All right. What's the next game?
All right. The next game is the Seattle Seahawks at Kansas City Chiefs.
I think you got that wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I got it.
You've got a misprint there. Let's see.
Who is it? All right. Well, let's do Miami.
We got the Chiefs and the Jets. That's what it is.
Oh, the Chiefs and the Jets.
Yes, Chiefs and Jets this week.
I don't know why that said Seattle there. Chiefs and the Jets. You're
this
right.
Ought
because
to be fun.
Of that.
It's a 19.5 spread. Oh my goodness gracious me, that is insane. I think that's the heaviest point spread so far this year. 19.5. And guess what, Steve? Not only are the Chiefs going to win, they're going to come really, really close to covering that 19.5. I'm saying no cover on this. I wouldn't bet on this game personally. But, the Chiefs easily handle the Jets. I feel the only reason that they're not going to cover is the Chiefs are just basically going to pack it in about 5 minutes into the second half. They're going to be so far ahead that they're going to pack it in, and that'll allow the Jets to, score 10 points or so late in the fourth quarter and ruin that point spread. But, Chiefs will probably win by about 16.
Yeah, I could see where that would happen. I did see the typo here. Sorry about that. That's what happens when Sizzle ain't around.
Right? It's her fault. It's her fault.
Anyways, would you take the spread? Would you take the 19 points?
Yeah, no, I can't do it. It's too steep. And like I said, they're going to score. The Jets are going to come back and score like 10 in the fourth quarter after the Chiefs have let up and put all their second stringers in. Yeah,
it's kind of
Chiefs will win, but no cover.
Right.
I know you got the Chiefs. I'm sure Sizzle has the Chiefs. All right.
Yeah, she has the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. We're all taking the Chiefs. The big question is the Chiefs going to treat this like a bye week? Rest a lot of guys, get a lot of guys healthy, knowing they can probably win the game. Or they're going to start off, get a 10, 14-point lead, and then pull guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to play this. Or is it going to be an experimental week? Hey, those plays we've been working on? Let's give it a shot here. So you don't never know. The Jets ain't going to win, though. I'm just saying, will they treat it like a bye week? Will they pull a lot of guys? Will they just play the first half, get a big, huge lead, and then yank everybody out?
There's
in
an
the
interesting
second
byline in this game, because this is kind of the battle of the disgruntled running backs. Because this is Le'Veon Bell, the former Jet. This is his, I believe he's debuting this week with KC.
I could see a heavy
and
dose
KC's
of
former running back is with the Jets. So this is going to be interesting.
I could see a heavy dose of Le'Veon Bell this week just because he just come in there and they don't want to, beat up.
He's going to want to beat up his
Mahomes
former team.
Yeah, I can see that happening. All right. Next game, the Rams at Miami. Rams favored by 4.
This is one of those games that kind of scares me. This is, like you say, a trap game. Everything about me, everything about me says the Rams should win this easily, and yet the Dolphins have looked good from time to time. The problem is that the Dolphins recently demoted Fitzpatrick.
Right.
And I know you're kind of tired of me going on and on about that.
No, I'm not.
But this is one of the biggest stories of the year. If Fitzpatrick was playing in this game, I would give the Dolphins a legitimate shot.
Oh, easy.
But they're not. This is not only is this Tua's first season, this is Tua's first game. Tua wasn't even practicing with the team until a couple of weeks ago. And as a result, I think you're going to see more reason why Adam Gase needs, or I'm sorry, not Adam Gase. I think you're seeing more reason why the Dolphins coaching staff is just completely clueless. And they destroyed their season. The Rams are going to cover. And in fact, Steve, I'm going to make a last-minute switch. I'm so disgusted with them benching Fitzpatrick and putting Tua in, and this is his first game. This is going to be my lock of the week. It is. This is going to be my lock of the week. I've got the Rams in this game. This may not even be close.
Well, you're right about that. Might not be close. It's going to be one or the other.
It's going to be close or not close?
No. What I mean by that, it's going to be, a blowout probably, or something like that, or it's going to be the wildest, craziest, most exciting game of the week. I am right with you on this. Ryan Fitzpatrick should be the start, but I said what I said just last week. The Dolphins have a plan, and the plan does not include Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it doesn't include this season, and they knew that.
Obviously.
They knew that going in. They weren't expecting.
Yeah, 3-3. We got a good shot at a playoff spot. Forget it.
Yeah, they weren't expecting Ryan Fitzpatrick to be that good. They weren't expecting him to be that good. They were not. Okay, they were expecting, and Tua was always going to be the plan, but they forgot about something. Well, no, they didn't forget. They're going to lose the game. Why do I even go on about this? I don't know. There's some defensive guy. You might have heard of him. Plays for the Rams.
Could it be Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald, I think is his name. He might be eating Tua for lunch. So
I kind of hope he does. Look. This isn't personal. I don't have anything personal against Tua Vailoa. I don't. I have it against. It's personal with the coaching staff.
I get it. Well, I think they got a long-term plan. We'll just have to see if it plans out. But moving to our next game, the Saints at the Bears at Chicago. Saints favored by 2.5.
I'm going to let you go first on this one, Steve.
Well, this is an interesting game here, really, when you think about it, because the Saints haven't looked all that great.
No.
And the Bears,
I told you they haven't looked right all year for them.
The Bears haven't, really. I mean, they got a good defense. Nick Foles is playing as good as Nick Foles can play with the players around him and the coaching. I think the Saints might be in trouble here.
So are you taking the Bears?
Yeah.
Are you? Wow. Okay. Taking the Bears. All right. I like the Saints in this game. I know the Bears have a good defense. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I understand they have a good defense. I'm not crazy with what's going on at quarterback with them. You know what? I think it might be a big difference maker in this game. This might seem kind of nuts to you, but because the Bears' defense is so solid, I think the Saints are going to want to mix things up a little bit. They're going to want to keep the Bears on their heels and keep the Bears' defense guessing. I think you're going to see a pretty significant dose of Taysom Hill in this game. I see the Saints doing a lot of wildcat and getting Taysom Hill more involved. He's kind of their gadget player, and he's clearly not going to be the starting quarterback over Drew Brees. But every week, it seems to me, when I'm watching the Saints, every single time they put Taysom Hill in, it's to pick up a crucial first down, and they seem to get it every time. And that ability to go wildcat with Hill and then go back and transition right back into more traditional set with Drew Brees, I think is going to kind of bewilder the Bears. And that's how I see this going down. I think the Saints will cover and they'll win this game.
All right. Sizzle was taking the Saints, by the way, and the Rams, in case I didn't say that last game there. I'm taking the Bears because it's in Chicago. It's going to be cold. I don't believe in Drew Brees' arm right now. I think the Saints just don't have it together all the way, and I think Chicago losing last week is going to help. They're going to bounce back.
This could be more low score. What's the over/under on this game?
47.
I like the under.
All right.
I see this as a pretty low-scoring game, actually, despite, the Saints obviously are a big-time offense, but again, they haven't looked right all year on offense. Yeah, I kind of see this as 23-20 or 23-17. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Could be. I don't know. Next game, San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle favored by 3.
My 49ers coming off that beatdown of the Patriots. Man, that was just epic. Which Niners team is going to show up? They've been so inconsistent and so riddled with injuries. My God, it's been ridiculous. Is there any team that's been affected more by injuries this season, do you think, than the Niners?
Well, I know a lot of teams have players that are banged up, but the Niners have players that are out.
Yeah.
There's a little difference between hurt and out.
Yeah.
But my question is, as you just mentioned at the top of the show, Seattle just made a big trade. Got this big defensive lineman that can rush the passer.
Right.
And they're just 3 points favored over San Francisco, who's got all those injuries. If I'm a betting guy, I'm taking Seattle to cover the spread here on this one. I'm definitely picking Seattle to win the game. Mm-hmm. And they got embarrassed last week against Arizona. Russell Wilson had one of his worst games of his career. Mm-hmm. I don't see that happening 2 weeks in a row.
It's tough to win in Seattle. It's always tough to win in Seattle. I don't care if there's one fan in the stands or 100,000. It's always going to be tough to win in Seattle. I like Seattle in this game. I think they'll cover. I mean, this won't be a blowout by any means. But what is the line on that? 3? Yeah, they'll cover that. Yeah. Seattle wins. Sizzle got?
Sizzle got Seattle too. But, right. Like I said, the whole thing, well, even if this game was in San Francisco, I'd have to take the Seahawks because Russell Wilson had one of the worst games of his career last week. I understand the 49ers walloped the Patriots, but I think that's a little misleading.
The Niners lost another running back this week who scored 3 touchdowns in the game last week. They lost yet another running back, and they lost Deebo Samuel, who's supposed to be missing for the next 2 games. And their injury woes continue. It's hard to pick them against a quality football team when they keep getting so many injuries every week.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. All right, next game, Dallas at Philadelphia. The Eagles are favored by 7.5.
Dallas.
Eagles are favored by 7.5.
Dallas, come on.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
America's team.
I don't know if you remember Jay Sherman, the critic. Remember that show that used to be on TV? John Lovitz voiced them. They stink. And they do. The Cowboys are garbage, okay, in every aspect of the game. I'm sorry. They just are. I know I'm probably going to get some heat from Cowboy fans when I'm sharing this week. But, yeah, Eagles. I think they're going to dominate in this game. Yeah, and who's starting? Do we even know who's starting at quarterback for Dallas?
Yeah,
It's not Andy Dalton.
Their third string guy. I can't remember his name. I can tell you what I think about this.
I got to go with the Eagles to cover. 7.5 is a strong line, but I think they have enough to cover that.
All right, here's breaking news. I'm breaking it right now. Doug Peterson will not be the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles if the Cowboys win this game this weekend.
He probably doesn't deserve to be.
Because
in fact, whoever loses, how about this? I'll do you one better. Whichever coach loses this football team gets fired.
No,
they're not going to get rid of
Jerry
McCarthy?
Jones will not fire Mike McCarthy this season while the season's activated for sure.
Really? I know he has loyalty.
For sure.
But what makes you say
Jerry
that?
would not do that. He wouldn't do it. I don't think he wouldn't do it. He just would not do it. So
Well, that's what should happen. In a perfect world, whoever lost this football team should fire their head coach.
Yeah, no, because Jerry's going to be like, well, he lost his starting quarterback, then he lost his second string quarterback, and what are we going to do? I mean, we're playing someone with no experience, but the Cowboys will come back. I don't know.
I'll say one thing about Mike McCarthy. If it's a close game and it ends up going to overtime, I'll tell you this much. Mike McCarthy is not the kind of wussy to play for a tie. I will tell you that.
Well, okay, I can agree with that, but the Cowboys ain't winning this game.
No.
Me and Sizzle are taking the Eagles. You're taking the Eagles. It's a clean sweep as far as we're concerned. All right, we have the Chargers at the Broncos. Chargers favored by 3.
Sunday night. Is that Sunday night?
No, we got one more before
That's
Sunday.
the last afternoon. Okay.
Yeah, last
all right.
afternoon. Yeah.
I don't know. Who you got? Talk to me.
This is a game that scares me as far as picking in is concerned because the Chargers are looking great, and they have been looking great, but the Broncos can beat anybody. They've proven that. I'm not saying they're this great team, but they have, a great way of somehow winning football games. They just do. I'm taking the Chargers because I'm going with Justin Herbert, who I think is doing fantastic. And I don't know. What do you think?
First of all, the Broncos are a mess right now, and they're not going anywhere. I mentioned Drew Lock earlier. Drew Lock is having the same kind of issues that Daniel Jones and several of the other young quarterbacks, first, second, third year quarterbacks are having. He's staring down his receivers too long. He looks kind of lost. He looks like the game is operating faster than he can process, and he's not scrambling when he needs to. He's not throwing the ball away enough. Unfortunately, I thought a lot of Drew Lock after he got drafted, and I thought the Broncos were going to be a lot more competitive than they are. The other reason that the Chargers are going to easily win this game, and what is it, a 3-point spread? Yeah, they'll easily cover that, is because of Justin Herbert. This guy has been remarkable.
He's the real deal.
He is. He's the real deal. You've been hyping him for weeks, and I've been, kind of quiet while I've been listening to you talk about him, but I've been watching. This guy's the real deal, and good for them. I'm happy for the Chargers.
I am really happy for the Chargers.
They may have moved to a city where nobody cares about them, and even if they were having fans, maybe nobody, hardly would show up.
Right.
But they have Justin Herbert, and that's something.
Justin Herbert actually gives them a chance to move back to San Diego. And Joe Burrow is going to be successful if they give him something. He doesn't have much. You got to give these guys. What happened to Andrew Luck? We talked about this off camera a little while. Andrew Luck. Okay, no luck, if you will. I mean, they didn't protect him. He got injury after injury. Had the worst offensive line you could possibly give a stud quarterback like Andrew Luck. And he kept them in all kinds of games with a terrible offensive line. And I'm telling you, the Colts, had they protected Andrew Luck, might be one of them teams right now we're talking about going to the Super Bowl.
If the Chargers get a really good defense together over the next...
They got one.
They've got a competent defense, but they can improve. If they can improve their defense next year, I think could be a huge year for them. Look out for the Chargers. They are on the rise.
All right. Last game, Sunday Night Football, is going to be Pittsburgh at Baltimore, where Baltimore is favored by 3.5.
Is that Sunday night? I thought Sunday night was Philly and Dallas. No?
No,
It's
Sunday
Baltimore,
night.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Okay. Yeah. Man. I don't know. I'll let you go first. You
All
go
right,
ahead.
well, this is easy for me. I'm taking the Ravens. I don't trust Big Ben Roethlisberger. They just got Des Bryant off the practice squad. Well, they signed him, put him on the practice squad. Now he's going to play this week.
Did they say that?
Yeah, I'm not
Oh, wow.
saying that Des Bryant is going to be a major factor in this game, but you never know. I just think no team's going undefeated. Why not end it this week? You know what I mean? Pittsburgh's defense is for real. But, But Baltimore, is known for their defense. This is a blood game.
They don't have a bad defense.
This is a blood game.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, this is like what the Cowboys and Redskins used to be. Well, the
Right.
Cowboys, Redskins are still like that. They're just not very good teams. But
the football team.
yeah, right. All right, the football team. Sorry about that. I'm sorry if I offended you, Indian.
Go fighting football team.
People out there. I don't mean to do that. It's just that I've been calling them that for so long. Anyways, Steelers bound to lose a game.
Yeah.
They're not going undefeated. I'm taking the Ravens because the odds are in my favor as far as undefeated stuff is concerned.
I'm taking the Ravens in this as well. It's 3.5 point spread. I think the Ravens will cover. I have all kinds of respect for Pittsburgh this year. I underrated them coming into the year. I'm very much guilty of that. I think I had them as like an 8-8 football team.
Yeah, I told you were out of your mind.
Dead wrong.
I
yeah.
said you were out of your mind.
And I was dead wrong on that. But I also have a lot of respect for the Ravens, and they're going to be at home, and I like them very much when they play at home. I think Baltimore wins, and they will cover.
Yeah. So another thing going on here. Sizzle has the Steelers.
Does she? Okay.
Yeah, she's got a sneaking Steelers in there.
All right.
That's going to be interesting for Sizzle on the Steelers.
Who we got Monday night?
Monday night we have Tampa Bay at the New York Football Giants. Tampa Bay favored by 10.5.
Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. Tom terrific. The Buccaneers win. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, do they really have to play this game?
Yeah.
It's a 10. I can't believe the spread is only 10.5. I'm surprised it isn't closer to 15. I mean, look, I get that the Giants have a pretty good defense. They actually do. They have a very competent defense. It's very underrated. But the problem is they are never going to score enough points to win football games if Daniel Jones doesn't learn how to be a quarterback. That's just it. I know you said earlier he can take them to a Super Bowl. And bravo, good on you.
With help.
That's okay.
He's got to have help. If he has the receivers. Go, wait a minute. If Daniel Jones, let me ask you this question. How many wins does the New York Football Giants have with Saquon Barkley, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Gronkowski, and Godwin, and the defense that they currently have? How many wins do they have right now? How many do they have?
I can't possibly say that. That's
You can't?
no. I mean, we can't quantify that. It's like saying, how would they play if they were all wearing dresses? I mean, it's kind of moot.
No, come on. Tom Brady has a lot of help. I'm not saying Daniel Jones will have even close to the career Tom Brady has. What I'm saying is Tom Brady's got a lot of help. And Daniel Jones has zilcho, or very close to zilcho, except a pretty good defense. So you can't expect Daniel Jones, and I get it. You're right about him holding on to the ball. I think they should use his legs more and get him help, just like they need to get Joe Burrow help, because Justin Herbert's going to be a better quarterback than Joe Burrow if, Joe Burrow's going to be Andrew Luck Part 2 if they don't get him a line and get him some people to throw to. And Justin Herbert is going to be successful because their coach is giving him some receivers, giving him some offensive line help, got a pretty good defense on the field, and the Bengals fans are rabid. They're rabid. And Giant fans are rabid. But I don't want you to get me wrong here on the Daniel Jones thing. He is not going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. It's not happening. But can you win? You can. If Daniel Jones, well, first off, let me ask you this. You say, well, it's all wearing dresses. You tell me, if they give Daniel Jones the players I just mentioned, are they winning the NFC East?
Oh, yeah.
So that means they get a home playoff game, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that means anything can happen, right?
Yeah, but they don't have those players.
Okay, well, if you put Tom Brady on the Giants, how many wins they got?
Maybe one more than they do. Maybe 3.
Maybe. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
so you can't expect this, Daniel. But you're right about him holding on to the ball. I'm not going to take that away from you. But they need to use his legs more. This guy can run. I didn't know he could run like that. Well, did you know he could run like that?
I like the Bucs to win this game. I like them to cover. I want to ask, who do you think is going to win? I'm sure you have Tampa Bay.
Yeah, me and Sizzle both have Tampa.
Okay, let me ask you this before we close out the segment.
All right.
Rest of season outlook for the Bucs. Do you think Antonio Brown is really going to have much impact, and how do you think eventually he will settle in amidst the wide receiving hierarchy? You think he's going to end up being their WR1 at season's end, headed into the playoffs, or will he be more like 3 or 4?
Well,
just your opinion.
I don't know how they're going to play this Antonio Brown thing. Bruce Arians says Tom Brady didn't, parade for this or whatever. That he did it because it was an insurance policy. That's what Bruce Arians said.
That's what he says.
Okay. Now, if I'm Bruce Arians and Antonio comes onto the field, I'm resting Mike Evans. Okay, and saying, look, let's get you healthy for the end of the season, for the playoff run. I'm resting guys one at a time until they all get kind of healthy. So around week 14, we got them all on the field at the same time with about 2 or 3 weeks left to go in the regular season, and then get this machine moving forward. I don't know if he'll become number one, because I also mentioned last week with them doing the Antonio Brown thing about if Antonio Brown has not played in a long time, hamstrings, injuries, you get popped out there. A lot of people don't like this guy. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like Antonio Brown. There's still people out there, players that are like, we respect Tom Brady, but I want to knock his block off. So he's definitely got a target on him. And but if I was Tampa Bay, I would tell Mike Evans, I would say, look, dude, you're not feeling good, are you? Let's set you down for a few weeks. Let's get you back healthy. We'll let Antonio take your place. And we're going to let Antonio Brown, unless he gets hurt, take everybody's place until we all kind of get healthy and back on the field. That's what
I think you're going to see this week. You're going to see Mike Evans. He'll be played, but he'll be played sparingly, I believe. You're going to see a lot in the first half of the game. You're going to see a lot of Scotty Miller, and you're going to see Rob Gronkowski get several targets as well. And Tampa Bay will jump out to an early lead. I mean, this game's not going to be close at any point. They're going to jump out to an early lead, and then in the second half, they're just going to give Ronald Jones the ball. Give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball. Even if he's only getting 2.5 yards a carry, they're going to be feeding Ronald Jones a lot in the second half. You could even see Brady sitting out for 10 minutes at the end of the game. If that's possible. And
going back to that injury thing, if they get an early lead and they can get things going, maybe they sit Mike Evans to help get him healthy.
I don't think this will be a blowout. In fact, the point total on this is 47, and I'm really tempted to encourage the under on that. Because, again, the Giants do have a pretty quality defense. So they're not going to be gashed all afternoon. It's not going to be, or all night. It's not going to be like that. But, Tampa Bay is probably going to run out to a strong lead. This could be one of those games where you see the Giants scoring a total of less than 10 points. That could be very possible. I could totally see this ending like 30-10.
Okay. Tampa Bay's got a great defense, and they're going to give Daniel Jones trouble. I think the only chance that he has to even put points on the board is to run. But who knows if that's going to happen. But that's going to wrap up our picks this week. Good luck to us all. I'm a little worried in one way because we picked a lot of favorites. And there's always upsets. We did pick a few upsets.
Yeah.
But
I usually pick about 3 every week.
You got to, but
not that I'm trying to, it just works out.
It just works out that way. And I get that. But at the same time, we picked a lot of favorites, so it could be one of them weeks we fall on our face.
And just so you know, I saw the way you were looking at me. I know I set this off. I know it makes my blue eyes pop. I get it.
Oh, will you stop?
Don't get used to it.
Don't get used to it.
Don't get used to this.
Oh, okay. Well, you keep bragging. I'm going to keep trying to get back into this thing. And if I win at the end of the year, then I don't know. We'll just have to see, because we haven't determined what the prize is for the winning. You know,
Yeah, we have to talk about that. We definitely have to figure that out. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us on the prediction segment. We'll be right back with a short fantasy spotlight here on NFL Weekly Predictions.